being a keen rider of motocross motorbikes, mountain bikes, bicycles of all persuasion, what about the vintage? We covered off on the bicycle scene, but what about vintage cars, vintage motorbikes?
So I spent a lot of time in Queensland through the years, but when I came down to Tasmania, I found that the vintage car societies down there, if you like, be they MGs, Mercedes, anything like that, they get out on weekends, and especially this time of year, they're just abundant around. And you might see 10 or 15 cars, and it could be anything from a Model T Ford to whatever, driving out, and they all come up to the Derwent Valley. They'll come up for coffee, lunch, or something like that, and then head back in the afternoon. And the same with motorcycle clubs, Lee Enfield clubs, Harley Davidson, sort of old bikes and things like this. They're always around, and as I said, this time of year they come out in their droves.
And what about just small groups of guys riding more modern BMWs and
quite often because it's only it's a fairly short trip, day or overnight on the ferry. Many groups of people will come down on their BMWs or whatever bikes, and they'll just come down for the weekend. They'll hop on the ferry, ride over, ride around parts of the state, hop on the ferry and go back and spend a weekend or a long weekend there.
And the thing that Luxury Life Asia we noticed on our most recent Tasmanian tour was the strength of community. Obviously, that's not just for fun activities, but it's also emergency services, local fire brigade. There is that sense of community that's, being frank, it has been lost in the big cities in Australia.
It is, yeah. And I think, due to the population size of Tasmania not being huge, people are very close there. And certainly, I always find it as you get away from the city, even proportionately, you tend to get on really well with your neighbours. It's not like living in Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane or somewhere. It's a very close-knit community.
Well, there's so much haste in the cities that there's a lot of lifestyle wasted, whereas in Tasmania, you've got the community. In some ways, the remoteness draws you together because you need the company, you need that support network. But it is a very well-established emergency service system and local fire brigade.
Yeah, and as I previously mentioned before, there was, you have the Molesworth Primary School. Right next to that, you have the Volunteer Fire Brigade, and right next to that, you have a major community centre, and that's with a football oval, a squash court, and people from the community around there gravitate there frequently.
And of course, Tasmania is becoming very multicultural. It's very accepting to particularly Asian communities, but also a lot of Europeans.
Absolutely.
Big history of European winemakers there, or European ancestry. My Italian folk, number one, front and centre. But if you haven't been down to the Derwent Valley, Spirit of Derwent gives you a wonderful reason to take the family down and look at the other options available to you in life besides, the grinds in the major cities of Singapore, Hong Kong. There's big cities in India, Sydney, Melbourne. Go and have a look, enjoy life. There's more to it. And what better place to enjoy that than at the Spirit of Derwent, in the wonderful Derwent Valley of Tasmania, the world's cleanest air.
It's a unique place to be and a unique community down there.
And we hope you make a quick sail and join us up here in Hua Hin in Thailand as soon as you can.
Well, that's what I would like.
Thanks very much.